Bow, 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 bow,
Wow,
bow.
Welcome.
What's that?
Did that just cut short, or was that me?
No, that's it. It's been like that since all the time, every single time. It's like that, Thomas.
No. It just got to 4 and then cut to us.
I think that's the internet probs. Just went.
That's internet probs. It's all good. But how are we, guys? Happy Thursday.
Good. Glad to be here. It's been another week of work. I'm sure we're all the same, Charlie, Tom. It's been work. But this is a welcome break.
I'm freezing my arse off because my boiler broke at the start of the week, which is why I'm dressed up like Burglar Bill. I've got my long johns on. I've got about 3 jumpers on, and I've got this hat on. So yeah, I'm sitting here freezing. So I'm hoping.
You look as if you're just back from a run. Like I think you mentioned you were like the poor man's Conor McGregor.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm the poor man's Cockney McGregor. I am. That's what they call. They call me Colin McGregor. That's what they call me. Yeah, we all good though. All good. Busy work. Leading up to Christmas and stuff.
Busy. So thankful for this show because if it wasn't for the Killer Comic Show forcing me to read some comics, then I'd have probably just went, you know what, I'm too busy. It'll wait till next week and I'll double up. But we read some absolute bangers this week and can't wait to go into them.
We did, and the chat is absolutely banging. So obviously we got the sexiest man on the internet. It is our resident fireman, not quite mint. We've got Evening from Mr. Perpetua, who's got some sexy lighting going on. We might be treated to a light show, who knows. We've got Triple G. Hi, chaps. Wi-Fi on the train home is crap, so sorry if I can't join. Have a great show. Throwing my hat into the ring, though. Chicken Devil and Eat the Rich are brilliant reads. Not read the others yet. Totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree with you. Then we've got Phil. Long time no see. Greetings all. Welcome, sir. Sit back and I don't know what time is it over there. What is it, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon there? 1 o'clock Eastern, Pacific. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to make it up as I go along. Connie, how are you doing? Thank you for checking in. I wonder if she got hold of her Geiger. If she got hold of her Geiger trade paperback. She did mention it.
I've seen their Instagram post for that. Yeah, I think Coffee and Heroes had put a big batch out. So.
Yeah, they made a big thing about it as well, and they also made they was meant to have Declan Shalvey as well, but unfortunately he's pulled out for personal reasons, which I think is the same reason he pulled out of a Thought Bubble as well, was something personal reasons. Yeah. So we wish him well. But yeah, he will be. I think he'll be in the show probably in the new year now, won't he? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We've got Panels in a Half Pint, our own very little superhero. Evening, peeps. How you doing, Shaunus Maximus? I'm sticking that name, Shaunus Maximus. I like that one. Yo, Chuck. Is that me? Chuck? All good. We've got Mr. Tim. Evening, sir. Thank you very much for dropping in. Leon Russell, YouTube's very own Heisenberg. Well, hello all. It's 4 o'clock. It is 4 o'clock in the States somewhere. There we go. Have a good one, guys. Catch you on the replay. I love this. I love the fact that people drop in to say they're going to watch the replay and then they actually watch the replay and then post your comments after that. I like that's commitment. That is commitment. And we really, really do appreciate that. So thank you very, very much. Connie, I haven't gotten it yet. I'm home in a couple of weeks. So I'll head to Coffee and Heroes when I'm home and see if I can get it. Make sure you do because I'm going to pick up mine and I'm going to look forward to reading it very, very much. So James Clapham, welcome, sir. Thank you for joining. We've got Adam Hills 2009. Hey guys, cool show, catching you live tonight. That's what we like.
Nice.
Who knows what mischief we're going to get up to tonight, eh? We love it. I think last week I was looking after the baby and then the look on my face when the boss came home and finally took charge.
I thought you were talking about me. It was me you were looking after last week.
There's 3 bosses in charge of me. There's the wife, there's Andy, and then there's Tom as well. So but it was good. I thought it went well last week. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Who wants to show off what they've pulled? I've literally got nothing to show this week. So Andy, Thomas, who wants to take it away?
I have a lot to show. It's been a big week for me. Tom, do you mind if I go first? because I know you're going to have something. You're going to have something absolutely spectacular that will blow minds out of the water. So I'll go first, mate. I'll go. So I'm going to start with the CGC, and I know Tom's got some belter CGCs.
Would you like to go big for this, Andy? Do you want to go big for this?
No, do you know what, man? Keep me small. Keep me small. I don't want to I don't want to put people off. We've got 17 viewers. I don't want to half that if I go big. So I eventually got this, and I had completely forgot that I'd picked this up. I got this from Limited Edition Comics, and I think I ordered this in January, and this was published in May. So I know there's a bit of a backlog with CGC, but it was a nice surprise because I had no idea, and a lovely 9.8 Pat Gleason cover there. So happy to have that in the collection. So we started with CGC this week, and then we moved into some key books. So first up is Sam Wilson, Captain America, issue number 3. And this, I believe, is the first appearance of Joaquin Torres, who later becomes the new Falcon. So I got that for a really, really good price.
I like the cover on that.
It's a great cover, absolutely great cover. And issue 5, I believe, is the first Joaquin Torres dressed as a Falcon, obviously on the cover there.
Is he the bloke who's in the what are they called? The Champion.
America. Yes, I believe it is. Yes, he's in the TV series as well. So he's this bad boy, Catwolf, first appearance of Catwolf. I couldn't
Very cool.
Not pick this one up. So, and I was surprised I didn't have that because I've got quite a big selection of Captain America books. This, again, is another bit of a spec book. It's Avengers the Initiative featuring Reptile. So this is actually the first appearance of Reptile. And this was a really cover, it's a cool cover. Anything with dinosaurs is class. This was a really low print run. I think this was only just over 23,000 print run. So quite a hard book to find. But if you find this in the back bins, definitely pick it up.
Did you read Reptile when it came out?
No.
Issue 1 was all right. I didn't read
issue 1. Yeah, I didn't read it, but I think with the way that Disney Plus is going, I think it's a surefire hit that he's going to be in it at some point. Star Wars is up next, so I managed to pick up Star Wars Blood Ties, all 4 issues. So we've got issue number 1. We have issue number 2.
Nice.
Issue number 3. And issue number 4. And I believe issue number 2 is a kind of a big key book amongst the 4, because this is the first appearance of Boba Fett's daughter in this book, and we may or may not see her in the new TV series. Miss Marvel, issue number 12. This again is a bit of a spec book for the Miss Marvel TV show. This is the first appearance of Red Dagger, and I only paid a couple of quid for this book, so I was really happy to pick this up. This one is a bit of a ghost. This is Wonder Woman issue number 600, but this is the second print George Perez cover. You might be familiar with the cover A, which has got the big 600 on the cover. Yeah, this is a really hard book to pick up, so I was delighted to find this one. I've got a little bit of Pepe Larraz, Absolute Carnage. Again, I think I only paid a couple of quid for this, but I just love the cover. It looked pretty cool.
I like those design variants.
Yeah, I like some of them. Some of them can be a bit crappy, but I like it whenever it's full color and it's not just like a sketch.
I like it.
David
Nakayama.
David Nakayama did a few of them for I think it was for Carnage and stuff like that. But they looked a bit samey. I think the connecting variants you can get with the design. I think Star Wars did a few, and then X-Men and stuff. Some of them look really great, but some of them do look like copy and paste. It's literally the same pose and stuff.
I like the ones like what Andy's got, where it's got the front, back, side view. I think DC did it for the Batman run when Tynion took over. They have all the design variants for that. They're really cool. But I think the ones you're on about, Charlie, for the Carnage run is very much just one figure on its own with a claw next to it. Yeah. It's good artwork, but it is, like you said, it's a bit copy and pasted.
It's almost like when you buy those art of books, the art of a movie or something. I love those. I picked this up for a couple of quid. The Punisher annual number 2. just with the Moon Knight TV show coming up.
What age is that, Andy? What, 1985?
I think that is 80 something. 80 somebody Google quickly. I think it's 80 odd for this one. It's not like a really old book, to be honest. But this is an older book, and I'm not a huge Superman fan, but I think this is the first appearance of Jimmy Olsen as an alien. This is Superman's pal, the new Jimmy Olsen. I think it's issue number 136. But I love any book, especially older books that have the yellow background. I just think that anything on them absolutely pops. And it's a 15-cent one as well.
Where did you get these from? Are these from all eBay or
Facebook groups? Groups, yeah. So next up, we have Invincible Ironman issue number 3. So this is the first appearance of Riri Williams in story, and I think it's the first time where Stark refers to her as Ironheart. So delighted to pick that one up as well.
I think it was Storm. Was it Stormcore Collectibles that in a Forbidden Planet pound box or pound? You know, when they was doing them
grab bags. He
picked up the first appearance of Riri Williams in her suit.
Yeah. I think they're actually doing a video. Him and Scott Shelf are doing a video coming up soon with another set of grab bags. So more Star Wars. So this is Star Wars Rebel Heist, and I picked these up just purely because it's the 4 of them are Adam Hughes covers. So we'll get issue number 1. How good is this cover? Issue number 2.
Very cool.
That bit of Chewbacca action. Nice. And issue number 4. And then probably my big boy book that I bought, especially with the news of the casting, is Star Wars Kanan, issue number 6. Minty copy.
Is it Kanan or Canan? Is it Canan or Canan? Kanan. I sound like Triple G, don't I? Canan.
Correct. And this is the first appearance of Sabine Wren. So I picked this up just in time, just before it absolutely blew up because of the casting news. And then just some Defenders. I'm trying to fill the Defenders run. So I picked up some Pence copies. I know lots of people don't like Pence copies, but I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. And that, guys, was me. That was my pickups for this week.
Tom, that's a pretty big pickup, man.
That is a pretty big pickup, to be fair. That's a lot of books.
Not bad. Been a busy boy. Treat myself.
Boy. Those Star Wars books, the Dark Horse ones, they're no longer canon, are they? They've literally just wiped them clean. Is that right?
Is it canon or canon?
Canon.
Canon.
He is, though. They're going to make him canon, aren't they? I don't know, but yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is that Dark Horse, I believe, are taking over some of the Star Wars run now.
Really?
Taking over from IDW, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with them. But any Star Wars books, I would suggest that you pick them up, because at some point, you just never know what they're going to do. They'll bring them in and out of canon whenever they like. But those ones in particular were just the Adam Hughes covers. So.
I think they're quality. I like them as a set. Like they're quite good little art pieces, to be fair.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Andy, if you don't mind, I think if you could just drop one of the links of the groups that you are on Facebook, because a lot of people in the chat, I know Darren, he's always watching Comics of Canada, they do their live shows at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But there are quite a few groups out there that do the selling of comic books and stuff. Obviously, we've got not quite me, we've got Hobgoblins and stuff, but there are people out there that sell their comics to buy bigger comics and stuff like that. So if you have got the links, just feel free to drop it in.
I will. Whilst Tom's going through his books, I will find some links and I'll drop them in.
Nice. I actually have got a bit of last week's and this week's pickups, to be fair, so I hope you don't mind. Because I wasn't here last week, I didn't get to show off one of the things I got from Thought Bubble, which was a lovely thing that got sent to me from our Panels and a Half Pint. He sent me Primordial issue 1.
That is such a great cover, man.
It is a great cover. And I was absolutely chuffed. I didn't expect to get it, but he did ask me for my address, and I was like, "What for?" And he's like, "You'll find out." And I was like, "Well, that's But are you going to send me a bomb or something?" But yeah, thank you, Sean. That's really nice. I'm really chuffed because not a lot of people send me stuff. So that really did make my day. So thank you ever so much for that. Really appreciate it. And then I got the Something is Killing the Children shiny issue 1, which I've been waiting for from what's it called? I forgot what the name of the company's called now. It doesn't matter anyway. I didn't get it from them anyway because they didn't have it. The house got it for me, so quite chuffed with that. I actually didn't realize how nice this is in person.
It's really nice, really good.
Really nice. These shiny covers are actually really quite smart. And then this week I got some stuff from Diamond. Not what I ordered, but I got some stuff from Diamond. And they sent me a free book for Emo Girl, which apparently is going to be quite a big hit coming up soon from Blacktooth Comics. And this is really cool because it's like a preview book of what the artwork's going to be like, which is quite nice. The lovely thing about it is that you get the character designs inside, and you also get kind of like what the artist receives from your writer. So you get your kind of script, and then what the panels look like. So like little thumbnail sketches of the panels.
Oh, that's wicked.
Which is absolutely stunning, and that goes throughout the book quite a bit. And then you get these cool splash pages, which is, I'm guessing, are going to be your covers. Quite a nice little thing to have. I mean, thank you, Diamond, for sending me that. Would have been nice to get my Venoms, but oh well, never mind. But they also sent me, so I've ordered the second printing of House of Slaughter. I got so many because Andy asked for a particular one, so I thought if I get those, he can have the one that he wants. So I've sorted it out for him. But as a thank you, Boom have sent me a shiny one. Which is a one in store per exclusive. What's like one per store exclusive. So I might keep it. I don't know yet. But it's in absolutely mint condition. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. No spine ticks, nothing. Wow. I actually think it's one of the nicest.
Get that bagged and boarded, Tom. Get that bagged and boarded.
Oh,
quick.
It is. I've just taken it out so you can see how nice it is. So
Honestly,
it has
with the amount of shit you've had from Diamond, I think it's about time you actually got some luck and got a decent thing. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'll show you in a minute, but I did get Venom, but like not all of them. So I've also got the Miles Morales cover, the Chris Aito one.
Oh my god, that's really nice.
That's one of the ones I asked for, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I've got a few of these. Yeah.
Boom. That is gorge.
But isn't it a lovely cover?
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
So yeah, that literally like
it's such a pity though that the paper quality on those books are so crap.
I think it's Marvel and DC, mate. They're just really. It's like Charlie was saying last week. I watched the show last week, and what Charlie was saying about the cardstock variant for Venom, it should have been cardstock, not just a standard cover. And I totally agree. I've seen one in the flesh, and I just don't think it's as nice as it could have been. And
limited edition messaged me back and was like, "Yeah, Marvel don't do cardstock."
Yeah, they should do. They definitely should do.
For the price as well, like it was 20. Like it comes to about £25 with shipping and stuff.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like it's behind me there. It looks great. It is great, but it would look so much better as cardstock. It just would. Like it would feel better. Do you know what I mean? Cardstock, like it's just. I mean, you can pick up a Batman 118 in cardstock, and then you look at that and you think. It's just
a lot more 9.8s anyway in the world.
That's probably why they do it. So there aren't going to be that many valuable books. It makes the ones that are 9.8s more valuable. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, who's to say that? But I got Hulk issue 1, which I've read and I think it's superb. So we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll get on that one next week. I also got Robins. So I got this one because I was interested because I quite like Robin as a character, but I like Jason Todd. He's my favorite. So I wanted to see where this was going to go, and I want to see this interesting story about this extra Robin that we don't know about. It's from Bruce's past. So I was interested to read that up. I got a couple of Venoms, so I did order enough. So I got the Delotto, which is quality.
Did you get the Sienkiewicz?
Is that this one?
Yes, that's the one I wanted. Oh my goodness.
So this is the 1 in 25. So I'm well happy
Yeah.
that they sent me 5 Venom books, one of each, and the 1 in 25. So
Wow.
where's the other 20 books, Diamond? That'd be quite nice.
Oh, that 1 in 25. Yeah, we might need to chat, Tom.
Yeah, we might need to chat, mate. But yeah, it's lovely. And I'll tell you what's really nice about it is the way they've put the like it's almost like Chinese
Yeah, I
writing.
noticed that. Yeah.
The way they've put the text on it and the
Mhm.
signature and all sorts, I just think it's really quite smart.
Nice.
It's a really smart cover. It also smells amazing. It smells like a proper book.
It smells amazing.
It does smell amazing. It's great. Another one for you, Andy. This one, actually, I only wanted to show this because this is for you. This is actually, I've got a couple of these. So this one isn't yours, but I got this that came.
Nice.
Oh my god. So that's Mr. Scott Young, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know you've ordered one, Charlie. I think as well.
Well, I have now.
Yes, no.
But I've got enough. So they all came. So thank you, Diamond, for sending me those. I look like I'm doing an award ceremony. Thank you, Diamond. Thank you for my Black Panthers.
Did you order any other Black
so that-
Panther one book covers?
Just a normal standard issue one because only one person ordered it on the shop. So because that one person ordered it, I'm going to send them a Scott Young as well because that's what I do. And it's nice when people buy a book that it's not got not a lot of love. I like that.
Yeah.
I got this one is actually personally for myself. So I've got the Peach and Moko Hulk cover. Not a lot of people like this one.
Guys, this is a good pull. This is a good pull session. I'm loving this. This is awesome.
I quite like this one.
Nice.
That is a nice cover though.
I'm doing Tim's nerves in by waving and bagboard books around. It's because you can't see it. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, my anxiety's like through the roof.
Don't worry, they're all my own books, so it doesn't matter. Also, I've been dying to get my hands on this book, so I got the next variant.
What a cover! What a cover! Is
it isn't glow in the dark.
Is it cardstock?
So screw them. They said it was glow in the dark. It's not glow in the dark.
Tom, is that
wait a
cardstock or
minute.
not?
You literally have to leave that in some sunlight because it literally apparently charges up. And
okay.
Use a UV torch. Use a UV torch.
Yeah.
If you've got one.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love this cover. It's probably one of my favorite covers of the year, to be fair.
Rose Besh.
Yeah, mate.
Rose
At her
Besh.
besh. At her besh.
Hey, I'll read it.
There we go.
Also got the Star Wars Life Day.
I completely missed out on that. I didn't even know it existed. Have you read it? Is it any good?
I've not read it. I have got a spare one if you want one.
Yeah, go on then.
Oh, God. Go on then. Go on.
A lot of these books are available on notquitemint.com if you want to go over and buy them, and we have got a 30% sale on. So just saying. This one is one of my favorite covers, and this is from this week's, last week's Eat the Rich, which we will be talking about shortly. But this is definitely one of my favorite covers.
How many of them have you got?
This one, possibly 2. I'll check, but I think I've got just this one.
Okay.
But it's yours if you want it. And then finally, I sent off a load of books to CGC back in April. Only one of those books was for me. The rest were for the shop. So I was quite happy that my one and only book came back up 9.8. I'm well chuffed.
I've just dropped the link to the slab section of your shop, Tom, because you've got some absolute beauties on there. So
nice one.
That is incredible. That's the foil, isn't it?
It's really not Alpin, but yeah, it's the 1 in 50.
Is it Nathan Scherzi?
No, it's Art Germ.
Art Germ, okay.
Nice.
It's just really not cool that it's a shiny book. But yeah, it's Batman 108, first appearance of Miracle Molly, and it's the Art Germ 1 in 50 cover. And I just think she's got one of the coolest kind of looks. She's one of my favorite characters just because of her look. I like that cyberpunk look. I think she's quality. I really hope she's not a flash in the pan character. I hope that she's going to make something of it. If not, at least I've got her first appearance, which I'm happy about. So happy days on that.
Now, talking about CGC, I'm going to go back to Leon Russell. So we had a discussion offline before the show started about CGC. CGC is saying they've now caught up with their massive backlog and that we should expect more reasonable turnaround times from now on. Not sure if that's true, but it's what they're saying. Now, I sent a comic off in March, I think it was. It was the 1 in 25 Liber Me Joe Berserker issue number 1. Right, I sent it off with my mate exactly at the same time. We both put the comics in at the same time. He got his back in June or July. I'm still waiting for mine. Now, I'm not going. The shopping question. I'm not going to say it. But they've come back to me. They've come back. It's not quite mint. They've come back to me and said,
"That's not my shop."
No, that's what I said. It's not quite mint. They've come back to me and said that they've got through their backlog, but that's only what was in their warehouse. They're still waiting to get the certified and slabbing and stuff done. So I'm kind of like, well, my mate sent off a comic at exactly the same time. He's got his back. Have they lost it? What's going on? I mean, it's kind of, they've sent out this massive thing saying that they're done with their backlog and stuff. So should we expect, Tom, you kind of know with this, you guys have done more CGC slabbing and stuff with me. Are you seeing a turnaround and stuff?
This is kind of what I was talking to you about before we started the show. You've been told that yours is still being graded or is in the process of grading. They told you that, what, 6 months ago? They told, like 2-3 months ago, they told you the same thing.
Yeah.
Not that I want to be that guy, but mine went into grading last Monday. I had them back this Monday. So their grading is obviously, if they're catching up with their backlog, they might have just put on the internet. Mine might have been graded ages ago, and they might have just updated the thing from graded to shipped this week. So that might be a case. However, it does seem a bit strange to me that my books, as I sent off 25 in one chunk, were after yours, and I got mine back on Monday. It does seem a little bit like.
But do you think they've done that because you sent off a bulk order, so they're like, oh, this might be for a shop or this might be for something else, whereas they can just look at one and think, oh, we're just
it's possible that they might have looked at it like that, but yours will have been sent off in a bulk, so they would have known it was a shop.
Yeah, and I would say probably more than 25. Because like if a big retailer sends like 100 books, they'll only get dealt with in batches of 25, and not necessarily one after the other. So that's where the massive delays are.
Yeah. I think the problem is with CGC is it got during lockdown last year. Everybody looked at their collection and was like, "Look, I want to invest in my collection. I want my collection to be worth something rather than just 50 pence per book. I'm going to send off some of my bigger books to get them graded." And I think the backlog, they just weren't prepared for it. And unfortunately, I think some shops, not naming names or anything, but I think some shops have taken money from people to CGC stuff. I've put it to one side to wait for that stack of books to get up, to send off a stack of books. So that might have happened with yours.
To pay the tax. There we go.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, so to answer your comment, Leon, there we go. Let's have it. But we've got Nick the Comic Nerd. He's finally managed.
Woo-hoo.
So he works every Thursday, and he hardly ever has the time to catch a Thursday live. So fantastic! It's really good, and apparently he has every Thursday off now, so there's no excuse. He should be in the chat every single week. There we go. But I'm just going to go through the chat because obviously you guys have been rambling on for the past hour.
20 minutes.
So there we go. So Connie Dalton has said, I can't keep up with Star Wars comics. There's so many, there's thousands of them. There's IDW, there's Marvel, there's different imprints and stuff. Nick was asking, what is the black and white cover behind you on the right side? That is the Thought Bubble signed Jock poster for his new fantastic.
And he's thrown his on the floor.
One Dark Night. He hasn't. He's framed it and he's got it.
I'm just wondering where mine's is. I don't know where mine's is.
He's got it framed. It's above his bed. It's taken place of his fan.
It's on the ceiling.
Above his bed. It's on the ceiling. It's on the ceiling. We've got Mark Oldroyd. He's joined us. How you doing, sir? We have Connie Dalton said again, no seriousness made me as tempted to start the collecting single issues as much as House of Slaughter has. Them covers are beautiful. They are really, really nice covers, especially if you get a foil one.
Story's not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. It's not. Captain Comics, ahoy there, sir. Nick, we need to be on Charlie's Christmas show. Is there? I think there is going to be a Christmas show, guys. Is there? We'll have a chat offline and see if we can make it happen. It wouldn't be Killer Comics, I don't think, if we didn't do one. Andy, can you read this one? No. Andy, can you read this one out, please?
Absolutely. There's a Jenny Frisson variant cover of House of
Sorry,
Slaughter.
can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
There's a Jenny Frisson variant cover of House of Slaughter issue 1 that's currently about 50 quid on eBay, but it's so beautiful. I'm waiting until the trade paperback to read House of Slaughter, but I've heard decent things.
Connie, is that the
obviously
1 in 100 or the 1 in 200? Because I might have a 1 in 100 that I could possibly sell you that has been signed by James Tynion that is cheaper than £50 because it has a massive sign tick.
And with that signed, that was signed at Thought Bubble, wasn't it?
It was signed at Thought Bubble, yeah.
There we go. There we go. Connie, if you just want to drop a message on here or you want to drop a message to
and I guess if she wants, Tom can sign it as well. Like, you know.
Yeah. Like as the second most handsome man on Instagram, YouTube.
Second most.
I think Apocolypse, I've got the delight. I think he's referring to the Venom one that you got.
Yeah. I tell you what, I know that Andy likes the 1 in 25, but I actually think the Delotto one is nicer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Nick the comment nerd. It's good to be back, man. New work schedule started this week, and it's a nice change of pace with the good downtime. That's good. That is
nice.
Very, very good. Phil, question: are Killer Comic Show hoodies available for commoners like me? Yes, they are. They are.
It
You
is.
send us your size, you send us your payment details, and then we decide if we send you a jumper or not.
It's a bit of a raffle. You send us some money, you might win. You probably
would you trust this guy?
I shared a room with him at Thought Bubble. I definitely wouldn't trust him.
I was up at the crack of dawn, literally the crack of Tom. Let's say that.
I was feeling delicate.
And Nick has the same question. So yes, they are available. You just send us the size you want. We'll come to a price and we can get them out to you.
I'd say in 2022, there's probably a good chance that there may or may not be some other merch available for the Killer Comic Show that we'll be pulling together. So watch the space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you all want a perpetual jumper. I want that green logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's perpetual pants.
Perpetual pants, mate. Not quite many thongs.
Oh, yes.
Why not?
With
Why not?
this face.
But you know, this is what I like seeing. So Nick has obviously just subbed up to Comics Talk Weekly. He's also subbed up to Hobgoblin. This is what this is the community. This is what we like to see. And we've also got Southern Comic Geek. Now he hasn't been in for ages, so it's really good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for joining. Let's see some other chats. What have we got? So
chat is absolutely bouncing tonight.
It's absolutely buzzing. There we go. I think they was talking. Yeah, our panel's in a half pint. Superhero. I love me a good foil. The LCSD Radio Apocolypse is great. Yeah, I looked at that with envy and I was like, that is a gorgeous cover. Gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Leon Russell. Good things we're not CGC grading on their service.
Not grading CGC on their grid service. Yeah.
That's the one. Yep. Think I'm going to. So Sean put a post up on his Instagram because he got a comic signed by Jock at Thought Bubble, and he was debating whether to crack it open or send it off to CGC to get the green signature, whatever, blah blah blah. I think I'm gonna crack my Batman 50, get it along with the Action Comics 1000 graded via CBCS. I would do that, definitely. CBCS all the way. I think that's the way I'm going to go with CGC, considering that they've got a comic that's a year old and I haven't had it back yet.
Send it to me, I'll sort it out. Oh, actually, no, send it to Tim. Tim will sort it out.
Tim, yeah, Tim will CBCS it.
Tim's your man.
Send it to Tim. James is saying he thinks they ate my my comic. Well, they probably did, or they've literally done. I'm now starting to think they held it off until they had a box of 25 and then sent it off as well.
Yeah, they probably did though, mate.
And who knows? But we are getting through it. Wow, the P is getting longer.
Whoa.
GP. Oh, GP.
Right, okay.
GP Venom.
Yeah.
Mark Oldwood, it's a classic supply chain thing. Forget the old ones. They're already horribly late. So process the new stuff so we get the times down. That's it. Maybe it is. That could be the thing. Poptimist, the Carl Holtz Slaughter #1 cover is nice. Yes, it is. I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Tom could be lost in the chat. That's the thing. We lose.
Tom could be a part-time model for sure. We do, Tom. You do have the 2022 not quite mint Fireman calendar coming out in March next year.
So sorry, it's actually been rebranded. So Johnny might not remember at Thought Bubble that there was a lot of photographs being taken. So it's going to be the Killer Comics calendar coming out in 2022. There's a lot of this, but there's also a lot of this.
There is, and it's always great when you kind of go through the picture on your phone and you find a video of a drunken Tom.
Yeah,
it was great. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't make out a word he was saying, but it was great.
it was good.
Connie,
Video.
I would be interested, by the way. I was about to make a not quite mint order anyway, so let me know. Head on over there. Some fantastic stuff. We best stop chatting on They'll Never Get On With The Show. Yes, that's it.
I forgot we had a show. I was having too much fun.
I was just entertained by the chat.
I thought we were just talking. So yeah, we are a comic show. We should probably hold on. Phil Nerdy versus just joined in. A killer comics calendar. I'll not get the pages apart.
Oh no.
Phil.
Yes, Phil. Phil, you can have a signed copy.
I've got to be up early in the morning. There we go. Is that because you've looked at the calendar, or are you pitching a tent? I don't know what way this is going now. Right. So yeah, look, it just keeps coming. Andy must hop in there from his full-time modelling gig. Right. There we go. We are up to date with the chat, I think, hopefully. So let's get on with the show. So first things first, we have Tim from the Hobgoblins Hideaway. He has another live claim sale at 4 p.m. on the 27th of November. That's this Saturday at 4 p.m. over on Facebook. I have put the link there for Instagram and Facebook, so you can head on over there. You can scan the QR code and it'll take you to I think it's their Instagram account, and you can pick up all the details there. They've been dropping some bombs on Facebook lately, showing what they've got coming up and everything. And the one thing great about this is that they won't tell you the prices or anything. It's all even. You jump on and you find out the prices along with everyone else that tune into the live stream and stuff like that. It's great. Honestly, it's wicked. We met up with Tim at Thought Bubble, and I can honestly say he's one of the nicest guys. And even when he was out drinking with the lads, he don't keep still. He doesn't keep still. He really doesn't.
I want to know how many steps he does a day.
I'd like to know how many steps he does a day. That joke. There we go. No, it's because I spit fire. Okay, that joke. There we go. But yes, that is the claim sale on the Hobgoblins Hideaway over on Facebook at 4 p.m. 27th of November. Now it starts at 4 p.m. and it probably won't finish until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So they're in it for the long haul. Him, Lucy, and the dog are in it for the long haul.
No, the dog's not in it for the long haul. He's there for like 10 minutes and then he's snoring his nuts off. It's great.
Exactly.
Is that Tim?
That's Tim.
Just Tim.
I'm glad no one said, is that Lucy?
Now, Thomas. Now.
I didn't say it. I was just saying I'm glad no one did.
I'm glad no one did.
But yeah, it's always like they've got so many CGCs, and obviously it's Black Friday, so there's going to be a few deals there. So make sure you do head on over and just take a look. But yeah, that's that. Should we get on to the killer covers for November 24th?
Boom.
Do it.
This is going to be a good week. This is going to be a good week, I think. So, like, can you two fill me in on what the scores are at the moment? I'm out of running. I haven't won anything.
I was on 4 until last week.
I've got 4, so it's 4 each.
Mm-hmm.
4
for
each.
me and Tom, and Charlie. I think maybe 1. You've got 2.
I think I won. I don't know. I think I won 1. I think I did win 1. I don't know what it was, but I don't think I'm up there with you guys. I'm not in the same league as you guys. But anyway, yeah. So this is the killer covers for this week. Up first, we've got me. We've got Wonder Woman Black and Gold issue number 6. Now I've gone with the Lieber Me Joe C2E2 Virgin variant cover. Now I was going to go with the David Nakayama one of this, but this I've really started like drawing again, and I've taken that on Andy and James. Like they've really got me back into it, doing it again. So I've really, and Tom, because it actually was you as well, because you're after
the actual artist,
the actual artist. Yeah. But this for me, the line work, the pencil work on this is amazing. Like this really, really stood out. And I know like you two have picked some fantastic covers, but for me, I went with personal preference, not what I think the viewers are going to like. I've gone for what I would pick up, and this really, really stands out. Like I love this. I love the fact that this is
stunning. This is absolutely stunning. This was a very good pick. But I just want to let everybody in the chat know the way things are going now and how we're so competitive. So as soon as we finish the show, basically Charlie's looking straight into the next week's comics. And he's so quick off the mark to send us, oh, this is the one that I'm going to pick. And then Tom jumps in, he's like, this is the one I'm going to pick. And then I'm just, I was the last one to pick. So I'm just making my excuses.
I was so quick off the mark on this one. I picked mine 2 weeks ago.
So
It was supposed to be
That's
last
how
week.
That's how competitive we're getting with this guy. So
But
just bear that in mind.
it started. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. There we go.
Can I just say about your cover, Charlie? I
Yes,
really like this, and I think what's really nice about this is you can tell straight away from this image, because obviously the book's not come out yet, or it has to come out.
It has come out.
That gold, her lasso is actually gold embedded on the comic.
Oh, is it
So
really?
that is actual.
cool.
That's gold. That is actually gold. It's not printed. It's actually like gold inlace on it.
That's nice.
My only question is, why didn't they finish the background?
I like it. I like negative space. It's a bit like what I do with my drawings, though.
So what's the white bit? What's the white border for? It almost looks as if it's like one of those fold-up aeroplanes.
She's back. She's kind of breaking out of the border. Look at her frilly skirt.
Her frilly skirt wasn't the first thing that I was looking at, to be fair. I couldn't keep my eyes off that white border that probably shouldn't be there. But yeah, it's okay, Charlie. I mean, it's
all right.
good cover.
Yeah, it's a good colour.
Okay, right. I love that. We could be in a good stead of things here, right? So up next, this is obviously mine. Fantastic. There we go. So this is Andy.
This is Andy's fault.
Yeah, this is my book. This is Good Boy issue number 1. This is Trinity Comics Group Matrix homage. Everybody loves the Matrix, and look at the line work in this. Look at the color work, but just look how it pops. It's fantastic, and Wonder Woman's Wonder Woman, but then we have a killer dog who's a good boy.
If a dog wins again, right, I'm literally.
Look at those bullets, guys. Look at the artwork and the time that they've taken. Look at the way that they've taken the glint from the sun, and it's just like the reflection. It's a thing of beauty.
Sorry,
but
what glint from what sun?
Listen.
How much commission you getting from Source Point Press? How much commission you getting?
Listen,
look at the glint from the sun that isn't in this shot.
Listen, my mate Igor has done an absolutely stunning job on this book, guys. But listen, Wonder Woman was good. I'll give Charlie that. He was really quick off the mark picking that one, like almost too quick off the mark. And this, I just picked what I liked, and it's if you don't vote for this, then the puppy gets it.
I don't know. Obviously, he doesn't, because he's obviously Neo from the Matrix, so he's not going to get it, is he?
Tom, you're up next.
I've just got to say, with this cover, I like it, but is it? It's a great cover. Like let's get it right. It's a great cover, but is it trying to be too much like the Matrix? Is it like it's a cover?
Wait a minute, Charlie. It's a Matrix homage. Have you seen the background? Of course, it's trying to be like the Matrix.
He's kind of looking like John Wick. He's looking more like John Wick in the Matrix.
Your cover being 2 Wonder Woman. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's not. Hold on, you were putting shade on mine. This is how competitive it's getting every single week now. Right, so yeah, this is a great cover. I do like this. And Tom?
Yeah, so I've gone for Catwoman issue 37, the cardstock variant by our favourite Jenny Frischen. Should I say any more? There you go.
No.
That's it. Right there, guys.
Do you know what I've got to say, right? Obviously, you guys send me these.
One of the best artists.
You do the slides. You do the slides, and I put them in. And I see these slides on a Monday, or the week before, and I'm looking at them thinking, "Yeah, they're good." But then when I see them and you guys start talking about them, I'm like, "This is a great cover. Like this is great." And this is how competitive it's got. We just literally did this as a segment just to add something else into the mix, and it's become over the last 5 or 6 weeks. It's become really competitive, and I hate losing.
It's almost became a little bit secret that we don't actually see what covers each other's picked until tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a great cover. Like Jenny Frison.
Those eyes, mate.
And it's the eyes, and for once, I like the hands. Like she did a Catwoman. I think it was Catwoman 35, and them hands were massive.
Those are the eyes you were giving me at Thought Bubble.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
There we go.
Where's her thumbs?
Well, one's in her hair and the other one is tucked behind. Wow.
Are you sure?
Well, she's got green thumbs, mate. They could be absolutely anywhere.
But there we go. Look here. Look. So we got Vote Catwoman. He doesn't look like a good boy in this pick. Naughty doggy. Then we've got. I love the Jenny Frisson covers for Catwoman, but they are getting a bit samey. I think Andy's just blocked you, Mark. I think Andy's just blocked you there. If you say anything about Jock, he's going to find where you live. I'm just saying that. And I think Charlie's in with a shout this week. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good if I won it? Wouldn't it be good if I won it for my birthday? That's tomorrow. Not saying that I should win it.
He didn't play the birthday card. He played the birthday card.
Charlie, smallest violin in the world, mate.
There we go.
I can't believe you played the birthday card.
Yet another Jenny Frisson cover catching my eyes. But yeah, I think there's some three strong covers there. So what we got? Let's go through them again. So we got Wonder Woman, Black and Gold issue number 6 by Lee Majo from the Birthday Boy, which is tomorrow. Just saying. We've got Good Boy issue number 1 by Mr. Perpetual, and then we've got Jenny Frisson, Catwoman 37. We've got some fantastic covers here, boys. Like let's be honest, we've got some really, really good covers.
It looks like it's a close vote so far, to be fair.
You cheeky fucker. I'm not 40, I'm 36. But not far off. All right. But yeah, so yeah, it does. What we're saying at the moment, it's Wonder Woman Black and Gold 75%, Good Boy 17, and 837.
I think I'm the only one who's voted for 37. Cheers, guys.
But yeah, it was a good week this week. Like last week was slim pickings, and I think Andy got the best of the bunch, but last week was slim pickings. But yeah, it was well deserved. But it's going to be a close week this week. It's going to be interesting. So on to that. It's week 46 reviews. So obviously we pick our 3 comics. Tom picked Dark Ages issue number 3. I picked Eat the Rich issue number 4, which meant we had to read 4 issues if you hadn't read them already. Andy picked the fantastic Radio Apocalypse, and the viewer's choice was Chicken Devil issue number 2. Great choices. So obviously these are the comics from last week, but the covers of the week are from this week. We like to keep you on your toes and confuse you. So
keeps us on our toes, to be fair.
But there we go. I think, Andy, it's only safe to start with Radio Apocalypse. So, sir, take it away.
Absolutely. This is one that I think it's fair to say that we've all been looking forward to. Ram V always kills it. And we'll start off with the covers. So we've got the main cover there by Anand RK. We've got a Martin Simmons cover B. We've got the John Gallagher variant, and we've got a fantastic cover E, which is a 1 in 25 variant, I believe. I know there's I was going to say there's a lot more covers for this. Some of these I haven't even I didn't know existed until tonight. We've got the Jim Mahfood exclusive variant, and we've got the fantastic Megan Hutchison Cates variant, which is pretty spectacular. I think the beauty of all these covers as well is when you actually get the opportunity to read this book, you actually appreciate the covers a lot more. So what can I say, guys? Ram V writing this. We've got Anand RK on art. We've got Anisha Shankar on colours and Aditya Bidkar on letters. This is a post-apocalyptic story. It's kind of like Mad Max. And it all centers around the small community called Bakerstown, and roughly about a population of 95. And there's one thing in the center of this town, which is the only radio station that survived the apocalypse. And this radio station broadcasts to the people in Bakerstown, and it kind of doubles up as a messaging post to get the word out there to see if there's any survivors out there post Bakerstown. The one thing with this book, guys, is there's a little sort of message at the start, and it's kind of like a call to action at the best. And it basically says, read this book. There you go, good man. But mate, it's almost like we're a team. It's
like we're a team, isn't it?
And it makes a suggestion that this comic is intended to be read by reading or listening to music that accompanies it. And each issue, there's at least one track that they suggest that you read you listen to as you're reading it. And it almost is there to sort of enrich the experience, because obviously you're reading it, but you want to use other senses as well. And I believe if I remember rightly, the music for this was I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen, which is a fantastic song on its own right. But I must admit, I read this twice. I think maybe Charlie and Tom done the same, where I read it without the music, and then I read it listening to the music, and it's an absolutely completely different experience. Almost dare I say it makes it a little bit better. But enough of that. So the story itself sort of centers around Callie and Tan, I think were the two characters' names. And they're basically traveling. So they've obviously survived the apocalypse, and they're trying, and as we get introduced to them, to try and find refuge in Bakerstown. And the first thing that struck me with this, and I don't know why I was surprised, but Ram V almost gives a bit of a masterclass on introducing us to characters. I think I said it last week that Ram V is probably the most consistent writer, certainly for me this year and previous years gone by. He sets up these characters to make you instantly understand what they're about, get what they're obviously encountering. They're in this apocalyptic world, and you almost feel a little bit concerned for them from the get-go, even after a few pages. And you quickly understand that these two characters are in love, but one of them gets injured. And basically, it's this whole story about not leaving each other. But one of them's forced to go and try and find the refuge. And for me, it was. I think this was probably a perfect first issue that I've read this year. And I think that Ram V has given us a bit of a masterclass. I think, unfortunately, maybe this book's went under the radar this week. I think with Venom and Hulk obviously taking everybody's notice, I think this one's kind of a crept under. And the fact that it's Vault Comics as well, which, you know, if you're not pre-ordering this, then I don't know if your LCS is going to have many of them on the stand. The artwork, guys, I don't know if you agree, but I thought the artwork completely complemented the story.
100%.
Anand RK has obviously worked in blue and green with Ram V, and I think he's done another couple of stories whenever we've done the Creator Spotlight. But it kind of is like an abstract kind of a feel about it, and it kind of adds to the emotion of the characters. So for me, this was, if I could, I would give this the gold seal straight away from me. I think this is absolutely fantastic, and I really hope that the rest of the issues live up to this first issue. It was an absolute killer for me. Tom, what did you think?
Well, I thought it was shit. Shit hot.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. Sometimes I'm a bit on the fence about any indies. But that's just kind of like a defense mechanism, I think, because like I've only ever read Marvel and DC pretty much my entire life, and it wasn't until I met you guys that I started doing the whole reading the indies and getting involved with stuff that I've never heard of before. And you know, I didn't even know Vault Comics was a thing, but obviously I do now. That past year, I own my own shop and stuff. I know all these things I didn't know before, but I couldn't agree more with you, Andy. I think Ram V does give you a massive, like you said, a masterclass in how to introduce characters, how to make you as a reader fall in love with those characters pretty much instantly, to the point where you care about them within just not even a page, within a couple of panels. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive writing, that is. I'm not sure I liked the artwork, but then that's because I'm not hugely keen on gritty artwork. So like when it's like over detailed on stuff like where, like, you know, when she took her sock off, that having all like the fibers on the sock, I'm not that interested in that. But as a thing, I thought this as a story was really, really good. The only thing I would say is I think because of like Walking Dead and stuff like that, the Apocalypse story has been told before, but as a reader, don't let that put you off with this book, because it's not. It has that kind of post-apocalyptic feel to it, and it is very similar to something like The Walking Dead or The Book of Eli, a bit like the thing with Denzel Washington in. It's got that feel to it. However, it's also kind of brand spanking new. So you get that feel that yes, they're telling something that's been told before. It's the same story that you might have come across but it's got this new twist on it. And I liked the relationship between the two characters. And I didn't see that happening towards the end. I mean, why do that to me? But I liked everything about it. And I felt like I'd read more than one issue in this one issue. It almost felt like I just read a graphic novel of a book that I can go away, and my missus won't be interested. But if I was to sit at the dinner table and talk to her about this, I'd be able to talk about this relationship with that character and that relationship with another character. I'd be able to tell her about the radio station. I'd be able to tell her about the compound. And I'm in those kind of things you'd be chatting about. She'd be like, oh, God, that's a lot of books. And you're like, no, that's just one issue. That all happened in one issue, which I think is a real, take your hat off to Ram B, really. I mean, what a star. Charlie, what did you think?
I've got to say, first things first, cover E, the Pace 1 in 25 variant, I will have that by the end of the year, because
mate,
that's
that AC/DC tattoo.
That's my ideal woman right there. Like that's kind of everything I want. Like that's incredible. I hope my wife ain't listening or watching, because if she is, that is game over. But this for me, that's fine. I'm on my way. This comic was amazing, and I did exactly the same as you. So I kind of read it, and I noticed first of all that the part in the comic where it says like this was set to be read with when you're reading and you're listening to the music and stuff, and it said if you can just do one thing, read it and then play the music and listen. It's just subtle things like that Ram V does. For a first issue, he did the same with Layla Starr. You felt like you'd read it before, and you're absorbed straight away. For me, this kind of grabbed me in. Like music and comics is two things that I absolutely adore and love. So you had me at the title, and I said this on my post earlier when we spoke about this in August when he was on the show. He was really enthusiastic about it, and he said this is some of his best work. Now, when you've got a writer like Ram V saying this is some of his best work and some of the amazing stuff that he's put out there, that's a massive, bold statement. And as first issues go, this ticks all the boxes. Like this, I'm definitely here for the long haul, 100%.
I'd recommend that everybody puts down their issue of Venom and picks this up and starts reading it, because you'll get definitely a different feel, and it's kind of a kudos to what Ram V can do, because he's done so many different types of stories, but the main thing is you get invested in the characters, and you really will feel that when you read this first issue.
And it is true, and he said, sorry, Tom, but it says, what James has said, I'm with you, Andy. What a read. The art of being abstract was nuts. Added real depth. Get in, Ram V. 100%.
I was just going to say that I think the nicest thing about the way Ram V has written this, and I've read the first issue of Later Stuff, like you guys recommended it. I think what you have to what he does is so well is he makes you comfortable with the familiar, but makes the familiar so unfamiliar. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so it's really unfamiliar and new, but he's made you comfortable because it's familiar. It's a really weird thing to do, but I don't know how you would do that, because it feels familiar, but it's a brand new story. Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. Very well played.
This is why I love this show, and this is why I love people watching this show, because Marcus just said, this is why I watch you guys. Never heard of this, but just ordered it. I can't, like, we don't get commission. We're not in any kudos. We don't get any money or anything. We're just reading the comments that we enjoy to share our experience and share our reviews with you guys to see if you enjoyed it. For me, this had essences of The Walking Dead. It had essences of Book of Eli. But for me, the most symbolic thing I kind of tied back to it was the game. What is it? What's it called? The Last of Us on the PlayStation. Because the relationship between Tan and California, for me, was reminiscent of the relationship between Joel and Ellie in a computer game.
That's very true. Yeah, I don't think of that.
And it's kind of like they've met in this apocalypse. You don't know where they're heading. You don't know what they're up to. They're obviously going somewhere. But then on the other side of it, there's another story where two people have broken in somewhere and they're trying to find goods, get out, get the stuff and get out and go. As the writing goes for this story, as Andy said, put down Venom. You know what to expect from Venom. He's a superhero or he's an anti-hero. You know what to expect from that. It's a set-up story. With Radio Apocalypse, you don't know what you're getting until you get involved in this comic. This would have gone so under the radar. I went to Gosh Comics in London on Wednesday. The queue for people was pretty significant. But there was this comic came out last week, and there was at least 30 like comics still on the shelf. So no one's picking this up, because I don't know if it's because it's by Vault Comics and no one's expecting their LCSs to have it, or the fact is that it's gone under the radar. This is going to be massive. It's going to be massive.
Under the radar. Yeah.
I
This
personally
for me,
think
100% killer.
the problem is Marvel and DC, mate. They're saturating the market. And I would agree with what Charlie said, but I'd go a little bit further and say put down Marvel and DC just for a little while, because you'll go back in 6 months' time, they'll still be doing the same sort of stuff. There's only a couple of books that Marvel and DC are doing that are actually, in my opinion, any good. But Andy has got us into these indie picks, and I have to hand on heart say these are some of the best comic books I've read in years, in my life, I would say.
Nice. I'm going to go even a step further, Charlie and Tom. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm taking liberties here, but I think from a first issue perspective, I'm going to give it that.
He's done it. He's gone for it.
I've done it. I can't take it back now. I can't recommend this enough, guys. Please go and pick it up. And it doesn't matter who the writer is, doesn't matter who the artist is. We just like good storytelling. We like good comics. And Ram V has an absolute masterpiece on his hands here, and I can't wait for the next issues. So from my perspective as a first issue, this has the Killer Comic Gold seal.
And I'm not being funny. We've only showed this 3 times. We showed it for Layla Starr as a whole 6-issue series. So again, that's by Ram V. We showed it for issue 5 of Made in Korea, which I think as an overall series, we'll be showing this again because it's been sensational. And as issue 1 goes, I'm 100% behind you on this, mate. This is it's incredible, not just for the story, not just for the narrative, but for the artwork. And as I put on my post earlier, you can clearly see that the partnership between Anand RK and Ram is flawless. It just works. It literally just works.
And I think the color work in this as well. Anisha Shankar is on colors for this book. I think that needs to be called out, because this feels like an apocalypse. This feels like you've just been put right in the middle of it. The color work in this really did I use the word radiates on this book, and it's just absolutely perfect. And the lettering as well. Aditya Bidikar done the lettering on this. It almost like, dare I say, it's almost like they're a bit of a dream team, these guys. What they're doing is pretty much perfect. So hats off to them.
No, don't get me wrong. Venom 1 is good. Venom 1 with Ram V, Al Ewing, it's good. But we know what to expect from that. From this, just go into it. Just seriously pick this up. If you ain't read Layla Starr, read that. They're emotionally driven comics that stop and make you think. And the fact is that you can read this comic and then read it again, because you don't find out what the tune is of that comic until you're at page 29. So then you're like, oh, hold on, I'm going to go back and do what Ram V said at the start of the comic, and you do. It's amazing. I can't. We're also spending Phil's money for them, which is perfect. There we go. Which is good. Which is good. And the variant in indie books is second to none. There we go. So this is another killer. Radio Apocalypse issue number 1 came out last week. Pick it up. Definitely.
I've just realised something. I don't have the power like you two do to drop this golden thing. Is that because I would give everything a golden stamp? That's a golden stamp. That gets a golden stamp. He gets a golden stamp.
We've been doing this segment on your 30% off, and you'd be like, golden stamp. There we go. It's a killer.
30% off. It's a killer.
I'm sure we can sort you out, Tom. It's not a problem.
It's all right, mate. I personally wouldn't give me the power. Imagine how many golden stamps I'd give out. Just because I would be like, I love this comic. Golden stamp. I didn't really like it. It was great. Sort of. Golden stamp.
GP Venom agrees with you, mate. Look, he's agreeing with you. I'll add this to the lookout for in TPB list. I would, if I'm honest, Connie, I'd pick up issue number 1 now, because I think in a couple of months, I personally think this is something that could be sanctioned. I think this could be optioned.
Oh yeah, 100%. I can see it being optioned straight away.
So I'm going to call this now. I'm going to put it out. I reckon, say 2020. I don't know. In a couple of years, this will be optioned. So I'd pick up the cover
or sanctioned.
Or
and sanctioned, optioned, captioned, whatever. I'd pick it up. But anyway, before we move on to the next comic, let's have a look at the poll. So we've got Wonder Woman.
Let's not.
We've got Wonder Woman at 79%.
We've
got Good Boy at 11%, and we've got Catwoman at 11%. But anyway,
there's a 79% chance that this might be guilt tripped because of his birthday being tomorrow.
Happy
for
birthday.
For once, I've done a good thing and picked a decent comic. There we go. Right, that's Radio Apocalypse. Up next, yes, this was my pick of the week. Right, so this is Eat the Rich, issue number 4 by Boom Studios, written by Sarah Grailey and art by Puis Back, and lettering by Roman Titov. Main cover by Puis Back, cover B by Becca Carey, cover D, which is the How 1 in 25 variant, and then we've got the Virgin cover by Puis Back. Now, obviously, I could have turned around and think, oh, we'll just do first issues and stuff. But I really enjoyed issue number 1, 2, and 3. So I was like, I'm going to put it out there. I want you guys to read it. This is all kinds of messed up shit. Like, this is from Boom Studios, who do Power Rangers and Something Is Killing the Children. They're kind of testing the waters with this. But it was wicked. I honestly love it. So the premise of this, I don't want to give it away because I know we're on issue number 4, but I really don't want to give it away.
In all fairness, Charlie, if you haven't read issues 1 to 3 at this point, I feel like you're okay to talk about the premise.
Okay.
Because then it might sell it to people to buy the trade paperback or go back and read those first 3 issues.
Okay, so what I'll do, I'll give it a brief synopsis. So basically, it's about a girl and a boy. They're in a relationship, and at the end of issue 1, she sees things that that none of us would expect to happen. And as you can probably tell from cover D, you kind of get the premise about it. So they're kind of a cannibalistic family setup. It was just something I wasn't expecting from Boom Studios. Now, I've read issues 1, 2, 3, so I've been up to date with it, but I've loved it. The writing, the artwork, the whole setup of it is so different. And I think, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the title gives it away, but it doesn't, because if you agree with me, guys, it doesn't give it away because it's not Eat the Rich. It's not, is it? It's kind of, yeah. So there's a play on words, and it's almost the opposite. And it's a play on words there from what they've done. And issue number cover B by Becky Carey is a significant part in issue number 4. So I'm going to stop rambling because I really, really love this comic. Everything about it, absolutely so out there from Boom Studios. They didn't think Boom Studios would do something like this. The writing, the artwork, the whole backstory, the character development of it, everything is another great comic to read. Absolute killer for me. You guys would have read issues 1 to 4 this week. What did you think, Tom?
Well, I've been reading it all along. So I was really chuffed that you picked this. It just forced me to read issue 4. Because I was actually probably going to park it and bench it and then read it as a whole collective. Because I really like this as a premise. I think the idea is clever. Yes, the title does kind of give it away, and it has been done before. But I like the twist on it. I like the way that they have done it. How they're explaining how they're doing it. The dynamic between the main character and the young man that she's gone there with, the rich guy, their dynamic between the two of them is really interesting. Like, his backstory we haven't really had yet, and he's dealing with something as well as the fact that she's dealing with this, what she's been thrown into. So he's dealing with his past, she's dealing with her present and future. So that's quite interesting dynamic. The kind of like the staff that are in this, there's a dynamic between the two, her and the staff member, which is really quite interesting. I think all round as a comic, I think this is really quite it's different. I like a lot of it. I like mainly that the artwork is not quite my cup of tea. So it makes it uncomfortable for me to read. But I think that's on purpose because the story content is uncomfortable. So what you're about to see or about to witness is an uncomfortable situation to be in. And I think you're trying the way that the writer is doing this is to make you feel like the main character and in her shoes, where she is slowly becoming more comfortable with certain things, but she isn't comfortable with a lot of things. And I like that. I think it's really quite clever. Yeah, I mean, I think if you haven't read it, I'd pick up the first 4 issues and see what you think. especially issue 1. I think issue 1 is great. Issue 1 was definitely a killer for me. So what did you think, Andy?
Well, I hadn't read any of these issues. It's on my long list of books to catch up on. So I did. I kind of went, oh, here we go. I've got 4 issues of this to read, and as much as I was looking forward to it, it was just another 4 issues of a book that I didn't know if I had time to. But I'm really, really pleased that I did. It's kind of a similar to one of the books that I had picked. And I think I'd been reading them up to issue 5, and then I got you guys to read the whole 5 issues, and we were delighted that we did.
That was Silver. That was Silver Coin.
Silver Coin, and the one about the Mafia as well. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but
the Mafia one. The Doctor.
Doctor Shadow Doctor.
Shadow Doctor. That was the one. Yeah.
Quality book.
So I really enjoyed this. I think this is probably a perfect sort of trade paperback book because I read issue 1 to 4 in literally 20 minutes because it was so good. The story was so intriguing. It almost didn't feel as if I was going from issue 1 to issue 2 to issue 3. Because I guess that's a lot to do with how good the storytelling is, because it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was sort of fluid. Feel as if it was stopping and starting. Very uncomfortable reading at some points, and it's complemented really well by some fantastic art. I mean, they don't hold back, but they don't go full gore. So they do that thing where they sort of leave it up to your imagination.
There's a lot of suggestive artwork.
Absolutely, and there's little things like, there's a hand that's sitting in the background, and when they're eating the steak and stuff like that, you're like, is that that's the thing, and I really did enjoy it. I thought the story was great. I think there's one more issue to go, and the absolute beauty about issue 4 in particular, which is ultimately what we're reviewing, was that last page and the last panel has set you up for an absolutely explosive last issue. Do we know where it's going to go? And a little bit of me feels like the main character, whose name escapes me in a minute, but it almost feels, is she really as nice as you think?
Yeah.
Is she going to turn, sort of thing? So I'm really looking forward to issue 5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andy. I actually think, and I'm just going to put it out there, I think everyone should wait until this becomes a trade paperback. I don't think reading it in single issue does it much justice, because I don't know about you, Charlie, but I've read it single issue, and I almost dropped off it after issue 3 because a lot of other stuff came out that I wanted to read. But I think when you read all 4 together, it's like, yes, this is an amazing story. Yeah. I would just think it was worth reading it as like a full set rather than one after, Do you know what I mean?
I've got to agree with you, because I've recently started reading like trade paperbacks. I've been reading like I Hate Fairyland, like trade paperback 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm reading like Black Mirror and stuff, and I'm really enjoying the fact that I don't get to page 29 and I'm like, I've got to wait another 2 or 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? But with this, I think I'm going to read, when it gets to issue 5, I'm going to read all of them again and then buy the trade paperback, because I'd only do that with a few, and I think I've mentioned it a few times. When a good comic comes out that I really like, I'll read all the issues again so I'm up to date when we review it. But this is good. This is another good one. It's another killer, I'm going to say.
Definitely killer for me. Definitely a solid read. And if like me, that you haven't been reading this from issue number 1, don't let that put you off, because it's a really quick read and it's an enjoyable read. But I think, as Tom said there, for me, I think it almost complemented my experience of this book, because I got the opportunity to read issue 1 to 4 in full, as opposed to stopping and starting each issue. So maybe wait till the trade paperback comes out.
There we go. Look, that's 3 out of 3 killers so far. And then up next we have Thomas.
So my pick this week was Dark Ages issue 3, written by Tom Taylor and the artwork by the incredible Iban Coello, who we got a chance to meet at Thought Bubble, who was legend quality. I was extremely hungover when I met him, and I'm pretty sure he looked at me as if I was like, who is this dude?
You didn't drink on the first night though, did you?
Why is he breathing alcohol all over me? Piss off. Anyway, he was really cool. I picked this. Well, obviously you've got the main cover by Iban Coello. You've got the variant cover, whose name I can't speak out loud. And
Takashi Okazaki.
Thank you very much. And Charlie on the next one. The 1 in 25 is by
Logan Lubrera.
I can do the 1 in 50 because it's by Ryan Stegman. So yeah, I picked this one because Dark Ages issue 1 and 2 have been really good comics. I've really enjoyed them. They're fun to read. They remind me of the 1980s X-Men comics. They're fun. They're a good laugh. They're what I got into comics for. They're exploring the characters in a slightly different way. And I thought issue 3 would be just as good, and it didn't disappoint. I really enjoyed issue 3. I thought it was really good. Essentially, this premise is the fact that Iron Man has been half-inched by Apocolypse, and the heroes are thinking of a way that they can go to Europe and get Iron Man back. But the thing is Apocolypse, is he a bad guy in this, or is he just looking after his section of the world, basically, and he needs Iron Man? So it's kind of that kind of thing. It's like, is anyone a bad guy or good guy anymore in this series? That's what I like about it. It's like it's a bit like Walking Dead in the whole, like, you've got the hilltop, and then you've got whatever it's called, the other place, and they kind of rivals, but they know they want to do it their own way. And I like that about this book. I like that they're exploring the characters and their depth, and different characters are doing different things. It's brutal. This is a brutal book. I mean, I don't know how many people have died so far, but quite a few fan favorites have bitten the dust. Thought this is really clever. I mean, it's probably the only Marvel book at the moment I'm actually enjoying. I think all the others are just same old hashtag rolling out the same old crap. I think this is a little bit refreshing. I like the story, and the way this comic ends at the end with the way the Purple Man does what he does is brutal. And then the way the actual comic ends when you see Miles Morales, I am really, really, really excited for issue 4, because I really want to see what Miles Morales' character is all about. Charlie, what did you think?
So the Purple Man, in layman's terms, is basically Kilgrave from the Jessica Jones, Luke Cage world. This was totally different. So obviously I've put the slides in order that I read the comics, that we've kind of done it. This for me was a welcomed relief, because obviously we read some quite in-depth comics. We've read like some really character building comics and relationship building comics with obviously Get Rich and Radio Apocalypse. I've said this from issue 1. This is a comic that is increasingly enjoyable. Every single issue that goes on, the way that they're putting the characters in, I can only refer to it as War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds was, I think it was Russell Dalterman, and that was the biggest for me. That was the most enjoyable Marvel massive thing that they put together. Obviously, we had like King in Black and stuff, but War of the Worlds. War of the Realms.
War of the Realms, yeah.
War of the Realms. That was amazing. I loved it as well. Like Fantastic Four, and then you got X-Men and the Avengers. They all come together. In this is just great. It's just an easy read. And as you said, it is brutal. There's characters in there you think, oh, they're going to stand the length of time, and they don't. Right? There's no holds barred on this. And Tom Taylor is doing what he does best. He's literally drawing you in, and then hitting you with something that you don't expect. And for me, I enjoyed it. It's a good comic. It's one that I would get my kids to read, because it's an enjoyable comic, and it takes you back to the old school days when you're sitting there reading a comic and like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Like what Avengers? What's the team up going to be? It's really enjoyable. The color work's amazing. The lettering, the artwork, the narrative. I really enjoyed it, and as I said, as you said, it's the only Marvel comic I'm enjoying at the moment.
That's exactly how I describe it. It's an enjoyable book. I mean, it's definitely not going to win any awards, and it's definitely not the best written book I've ever read in my life, and it's definitely not, it doesn't compare to the other 2 books that we've read this week as a kind of a readable, amazing book that you might pick up again later on in the week. But as an enjoyable book that you get into comics for, something that you enjoy, that is just kind of pick up, you don't have to think too much about. This is amazing for that, I think.
Well then, like, so you've heard from me, you've heard from Tom, and then Andy's just put this in the chat. So I guess we're either teeing ourselves up for an epic fail, or Andy, do you want to take it away, son?
Guys, can we just take a moment? Issue 1 was fantastic. Issue 2 was superb. For me, issue 3 was one of the most disjointed reads that I've read in a long, long while. And what I've actually came to a conclusion is that this book can't be held together by Iban Coello's artwork. For me, that's one of the things that I realised after reading this issue that I actually most look forward to in this book, because it takes me back to being a kid again and picking up, the Apocolypse run and stuff like that. I struggled with this issue to understand how some of the specific moments that happened in this issue tied together. So how did what happened before result in what happened now?
Yeah.
And it just felt a lot like they just throw in a lot of cool characters. They kill someone and then they repeat that. And they've done that for 3 issues. And that's what kind of lost me on this one. It just felt a little bit samey. And I think it promised so much in the first couple issues. And I was hoping this wouldn't happen, that it would just fall away. Again, as I say, Ivan Coello's artwork has been consistently brilliant. But for me, that can't be the only thing that holds this together. I kind of likened this to like an energy drink. It's like you get a really quick hit and then you get a massive slump. And you kind of wonder, is it all been worthwhile? And this issue for me was the massive slump. And I'm considering, is it really worthwhile going into issue 4 in this? Is it just going to be more of the same? So for me, unfortunately, guys, this was my binner of the week.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you on certain parts, because like we're
you tune now.
No.
Oh, I thought it was great. Killer of the week. Yeah, Andy speaks. No, it's shit. It's terrible.
I love the comic. Right? I'm going to continue reading it. But we're 3 comic readers out of like a huge 1,000 people that read comics. Do you think Marvel gets sucked in? They know they've literally got a copy and paste. So War of the Realms. It's similar in setup and premise to this. You've got King in Black, which tied into the new Venom run and stuff like that. But again, they grouped a load of characters, they killed them off, and then they copied and pasted it. They're doing it in this. I enjoy it because it's an easy read. It takes me back to my childhood. I enjoy it. And I agree that not only the artwork can keep this together, then something needs to change. If we look at King in Black, issues number 1 and 2, we were hyped up about. It was good. Issues 3 and 4 kind of dropped off the radar. And then issues 5 and 6 picked up a bit, but they still fell flat. Do you think this is going to be the same?
I hope not. But your copy and paste thing is interesting, because when I was at university, we read a book, or we were asked to read a book, which I can't remember the name of the book, but basically it's the idea that storytelling is dead.
Doomsday Clock.
There are only 7 stories that people can tell, or 7 things you can tell, and it shows a really bad writer if you can't adapt those 7 stories, or one of those 7 stories, into something new. And I think, unfortunately, Marvel just hashtag those 7 stories consistently on a rotation, and it's like, oh, come on, guys, do something new with it, please.
Tom Taylor's a fantastic writer.
He is.
Please don't get me wrong with this. Like, this is one issue out of 3 where I thought it's kind of lacked a little bit. I just seriously think that this is a fan service book, and if you're just going into this, like, your kids can read this, although there's some dark elements to it, but it's an enjoyable read. But don't expect this to win an Eisner Award. And I think this was maybe where I fell down in this, because I'd read 3 other comics this week and then read Dark Ages. And whether I like it or not, I'm comparing the quality on each of them. And for me, this was just bottom of the list.
I think, Mark says you're spot on. I think it is. And then Connie said the only single issues I'm reading at the moment are Comixology originals. But that being said, if a good cover catches my eye, I do pick up Display at a later stage when I'm not living between 2 cities. I'd love to know what 2 cities you're living between.
The book I was talking about is by Christopher Brooker, and it's called The 7 Basic Plots. And it basically is all movies and books are written off 7 basic plots. And unfortunately, I think Marvel and DC just stick with the basics rather than advancing it.
It is a shame. And I think, this is definitely the weakest comic that we've read this week.
Oh, yeah, it's still a killer for me. I loved it.
It's a killer. It's a killer for me, but I think it doesn't really compare to the other 2 that we've read so far.
I'd give it a gold stamp.
Yeah, so this is why
have the power.
Exactly. So this is 2 killers, 1 binner. So we've got this.
Don't call Andy a binner. That's not very nice.
So we can't.
I've been called worse.
So this was Tom's choice, and then obviously up next we have Andy's choice. No, this was the viewer's choice.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic choice this was. So this is Chicken Devil issue number 2, written by Brian Buccellato, art and cover art by Hayden Sherman, and lettering by Hassan Otsmane El Houay.
Nailed it.
This was out last week.
Nailed it.
Guys, who wants to chat about this, because this is just all kinds of batshit crazy. I absolutely loved it.
I'll jump in this one. So,
Okay.
yeah, Chicken Devil was superb. Issue number 2. I think I said on Instagram that if this book doesn't win an Eisner just for the lettering alone, then there's something really wrong, because it is absolutely superb. It's complemented really, really well by the panel work and how almost like the camera. I'm saying camera positions, but it almost feels like you're looking down on some of the panels, and I've never seen that in a comic before. It feels like you're in the story at some points when you're reading it.
It feels like a movie.
It does. It absolutely does, and I think that's complemented by the fantastic color work.
Wait,
as well.
I'm just going to get another beer. I'll be back.
No.
All right. Happy birthday.
See ya.
We're not doing it anymore, Charlie.
How rude! How rude! But yeah, this is like the chicken fried revenge story at its absolute best. Your main character Mitchell, I think it was Tom Mitchell's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's obviously dealing with the aftermath of finding out that his business partner was dealing in drugs and stole drugs from the Russian mafia. And at the end of issue 1, we basically find that there's a bit of a calamity. It's a bit slapstick where the Russian mafia guy slips and shoots himself. And this book doesn't hold back with the detail of that, with the artwork. It's in your face.
I found with the artwork though, because it was. I mean, I had to read issue 1 and 2 because I didn't read issue 1. But I found, like you said about the artwork, although it is very like you said, it doesn't hold back. I think it almost is very slapstick and almost comedy and almost drawn and colored in such a way like, oh, it's a bit of a kid's book.
Yeah, it's chaos. It's absolute chaos from start to finish, and that's what makes it so almost a lovable book. It's probably one of the books that I really most look forward to reading, and even from the perspective of the guys on social media. So like we've been bigging it up on social media, and they're really receptive to respond and retweet the stuff that you're doing. So I think that makes me more willing to keep in the book and keep reading it, because you become that little bit more invested. I love Mitchell as a character. He's probably one of my favorite characters. Again, he's lovable, he's slapstick, he's a bit chaotic, but for me, I can't help but root for him in this book, and I'm sort of like going page to page, making sure that is Mitchell going to be okay? And I think at the end of this issue, I think we're okay for spoilers and stuff because this was out last week, but the fact that it kind of was like a reminiscent of issue number 1, where there was a little bit of slapstick where the Russian guy killed himself, and in this one, he basically shoots the gun almost by mistake, and then it's just a pile of bullets that come into, I think it's Antonio. One of the best fight scenes that you'll ever see is in this particular issue, and there's one particular panel, guys, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The groin grab made my eyes water.
Oh, I felt that.
Oh my goodness! I think anybody that reads this would feel this. It was absolutely fantastic. I think this book for me is just a bit of a welcome relief, with all the seriousness of comics, especially some of the stuff that we've read in the past. And at the end of the day, I think just sometimes you just want to read about a man dressed as a chicken. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So for me, this was an absolute killer.
Now, I've said from issue number 1, like you just mentioned that it got publicized. Like we've been posting it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and it's been getting retweeted. Someone set up an account called Chicken Devil on Twitter, and it's interesting because it's so funny watching them post and stuff, because you're kind of like, hold on, are you the actual character? Now, obviously, this is either Aftershock playing an amazing, elaborate game, and they're fooling everyone, but this is just, it's Breaking Bad gone rogue with the Chicken Devil. It's basically the chicken shop there, and it's a fantastic read. It's funny, man. Like the artwork, the storyline. Like it's a guy that runs a chicken shop, the best chicken shop.
I actually think it's the opposite of that. I think Breaking Bad would love to be as good as
Do you reckon?
the first 2 issues of Chicken Devil. I absolutely do. I think if Breaking Bad could have brought in some of the elements that this has brought in, I think it would have been even better. So I've heard a lot of people saying that's what they kind of are liking it to, but I think it's so much better, and it's so much. It's chaos. It's chaos in 28 pages, and I love it.
I mean, issue number 2 for me, like I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. It was just a funny, interesting, exciting read, and the artwork and the way that, like the lettering, as you said, if he doesn't win an award for that, it's great. And some of the covers for the first issue were wicked. This one only got one cover, which I was quite surprised at, to be fair. This only got this one cover. But it tells a lot about the story. I thought it was great. Tom,
what did you think?
I agree. I thought it was brilliant. I like I said, I had to read issue 1 and 2. Because I didn't read issue 1, and it is like being part of a movie or TV series. It didn't feel like a comic book to me. It honestly felt like I was waiting for the camera to pan around, or like some kind of camera movements. It didn't feel like I was reading from panel to panel. And that made it really enjoyable to read. And like I said, the artwork, it almost complements the fact that it is quite an horrific things that happen. And the story is quite, quite serious, actually. The story is quite serious. The artwork really lends itself to like some kind of animated cartoon. And you're like, this makes it fun, and like you said, it is a bit of a light relief. And it's funny, but it's gritty and it's rough.
You almost forget, Tom, that how serious this book is.
Yeah, exactly.
Even we forget that this guy has
lost his family.
as far as we lost his family, but we don't actually. It's not been 100% confirmed. We assume that he's lost his family. So what he must be going through from a mental perspective, you know what I mean? And it's one of those ones you just don't know. Is it just going to flip it all on its head? Is it going to do that thing when it goes, this was all a dream, when it was all a nightmare, or it was all in his head? I don't know. I'm really.
Did you ever watch the TV show Robot Chicken?
No, but I've heard of it. That is Seth Green, isn't it?
Yeah. So this would this is kind of that setup. I think this would be great as an adult cartoon, because it's wicked. As a comic book, you kind of, as Andy said, you kind of forget what you're reading because you're so engaged in everything.
I think this would do well as a TV series like the Netflix You. It's got very much elements to that. Like it's kind of like that kind of slapstick comedy. However, there's murder involved. Do you know what I mean? It's a serious thing, but you're kind of like, oh yeah, no, actually, it's pretty cool. But actually, you shouldn't be. Yeah, this is really cool. Russian mafia have killed his family, and like this guy's just slipped and died in the gym, and he's gone to this apartment, and someone's been blown to pieces. That shouldn't be funny, but it is funny, and this book really lends itself to that. And I just think it's really clever. And I think Aftershock have killed it with this. It's got to be one of my favorite books this year so far. As something new I've never read before, and it is refreshing. It's not a new story that's been rehashed out. It's a brand new story that somebody's come up with. I really like that. It is brand new. I really like that.
Cool. So that's another killer. Is that another killer, Andy? Killer.
100% killer for me.
Give it a gold stamp.
Good gold stamps.
3.5 out of 4 ain't bad, but that's great. That's the reviews of last week done. Just checking on the cover of the week. I think I'm 80%, and you boys are at 10. So I think it's either the sympathy vote or I actually really did good and picked a decent cover. I'm going to go with that, but then I'm also going to go with. Look at you getting
festive.
Look at that, showing us your jingle baubles.
Well, it is my favourite time of year. Every year, Christmas is my favourite time of the year. I have to bottle it all year round, and I'm never allowed to let it out until it gets to December. So next week, I could be all festive. So apologies, because It is December next week, guys.
There we go. Look, Phil's doing the chair dance, but obviously this is your killer keys for December 1st. Now, bearing in mind, some of them that you do pick do come out on November the 30th, which is DC related. But take it away, you sexy man.
Yeah. So first up, I've picked Chips to Darsky, Daredevil issue 36. It's the final issue of the Chip Zdarsky run, and guys, I don't need to tell you much more than you need to read this as a series. The Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run has been one of the best Daredevil runs for a very long time, and this final issue is promising to be massive because it's about to lead into this new thing called Devil's Reign. So it's worth picking up for that. So yeah. That's my first cover. That's my first killer key pick.
How many issues has he done? Is it 1 to 36?
He jumped on, I want to say issue 15. Is that right, Andy?
Chip Zdarsky?
Yeah.
No, he's done them all.
Oh, has he done them all? See, I thought he was in from 15. But yeah, it's a great series. It's definitely one of the best Daredevil runs they've done for a long time.
I would say it's probably up there with the Frank Miller Daredevil run.
I would say the same thing, especially when he goes to prison and the whole flip with Elektra. It's been incredible.
And I think the difference between this and probably Immortal Hulk, which is probably one of the other longest running recently books, is that it didn't sort of fall off in the middle. This has been consistently good right through.
Yeah, look, Phil saying Zdarsky's Double D is top notch. I hope he's talking about the comic and not the bra size. And I'm very excited for Devil's Reign. There we go.
Go see his artwork, and it's insane as well. I mean, what an incredible artist! You couldn't ask for anyone better to read this, to draw on this one. I don't think.
Cool. So that's out December the 1st. Next up.
Yeah. So the next one up is the Avengers issue 50. It's coming to the end of the Avengers run with Jason Aaron. So I don't think this is his last issue. It might be the penultimate issue before he leaves and goes on to do something else. But this one has been kind of speculated that this is going to have a first appearance of a new team of the Avengers of the Multiverse. So this is them on the cover. So it's not our Avengers. It's a mixture of lots of other Avengers as well. And also you get a first full team appearance of the evil multiverse characters. So like Doctor Doom is leading a team of evil Avengers, so that's also a reason to pick it up. Nice. There you go. I don't know if anyone's been reading the Avengers, the Jason Aaron run. I read it up to a certain point, and I've enjoyed some of the. There's lots of like throwbacks to the original Avengers, like not the original Avengers, as in like back in the day, Stan Lee's Avengers. They kind of he's hinting at things like the Ghost Rider was on our planet before, and he used to ride a giant spider, and Iron Man was a caveman, and the Phoenix has been here before, and Odin was the Thor of their original Avengers, that kind of thing. And it's been really interesting, and I think issue 50 and 51 are about to put all of that together with our Avengers, if that makes sense. So it kind of all collaborates together.
It's the 50 issues that puts me off a little bit. Like that's a lot of investment for me.
I would personally say you can cherry pick this.
Right.
As a Marvel reader, I read a lot of the Marvel books. This Avengers run has been good, but you could probably cherry pick 10 out of the 50 issues to know what the hell's going on.
Right. Okay.
And that's what I'm saying about earlier about the whole Marvel keep hashing out the same old stories. Is this so long-winded over 50 issues? It could have been condensed into 10.
50 is long, isn't it? 50 issues. Like this is 50 issues. I think Daredevil was going to be about 50 issues. You got Immortal Hulk that was 50 issues. It's like
Daredevil's worth reading.
Yeah, Daredevil. But if you're jumping on at the start, that's a long run. Like that's a long run, long ass run.
I think if you're an Avengers fan, you're going to be reading this from the first issue. I think if you're like me,
Phil said,
you can take it or leave it. Then,
as Phil said, I've enjoyed Avengers throughout, so not overly exciting or groundbreaking, consistently okay. I'm easily pleased, and then I've said, would it get a gold stamp, Phil? According to Tom, it would do. And then Connie said, I find it very daunting to start a series that's anything over 25 issues. It just feels like such a commitment. You say that, but then when you read a trade paperback, you wouldn't think twice about reading 30 issues because it's in one book.
I'll tell you what, So I recently started reading the Japanese manga One Piece. It's 1,001 issues of short chapters, and it's 25 pages per book. I'm already 210 issues in. That's how good it is, and I only started 3 weeks ago. That's how
this
good
here,
the series.
This comment here from Phil: Avengers had a cave woman, Ghost Rider, riding a flaming mammoth.
Yeah,
I'm in.
That was quality.
That was just in Belfast City Centre.
Yeah.
I'm in. So yeah, Avengers number 50, Jason Aaron and Christopher Uccio. Wonder Girl. Oh, what a cover. Joel Jones.
So I only read the first couple of issues of Wonder Girl, but this is apparently people are saying that this is one of the best kind of like DC comics going at the moment. It's that people are missing out on. Because it's under the radar. It's really well written by Jolie Jones. The artwork by Malo is brilliant. People are saying that she is going to be the next Wonder Woman. She will take over from Diana at some point. Whether she'll be as popular is to be seen. But people are saying that basically she is your Tim Drake or your not Tim Drake, Dick Grayson of the Wonder Woman world. So she will end up being as popular as Dick Grayson. Because her story's that good. This issue, particularly issue 5, is the first appearance or the first reappearance of her tribe. So you finally get back to where she comes from. It's a bit of an origin thing. And you also get the first appearance or suspected first appearance of her long-term villain, who's called Patrio. So that should be coming. That could be interesting.
Did this all come out of the Wonder Girl future state?
It did, mate. So she was voted. I think they did a vote system, so she was voted one of the popular characters to come out of future state. So they decided to do her as a run. Her first issue was incredible, and the way they tied it in, the fact that she is Amazonian, but she's not from the same Amazonian tribe as Diana. It's a completely different Amazonian tribe that have a different island somewhere else, but they have been tainted by men and which is quite interesting. So it's a completely different spin on it. So that's quite cool, and her outfit's cool as shit.
Sounds cool.
It is. It does. Yeah, it is great.
It's only 5 issues to get into. And
Robin.
Then my final pick is the annual for Robin 2021.
Love him.
Robin has been one of the most enjoyable DC books that I've read this year, and it's just because it's a bit like Mortal Kombat meets Street Fighter meets Game of Thrones meets Robin. I just think
I've shared your love with this, Tom. I've shared your love with this, Tom, and I know we talk about this.
Yeah, it's so good. And Flatline is by far one of my favorite characters that have come out of this series, and this particular book is her origin story. So it's
wicked. Okay, cool.
For that. It's going to be all about her origins, her kind of backstory that she's got with why she wants to defeat Robin, and her backstory that she's got with Slade and Slade's daughter. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. Written by the same writer as Robin, which is Joshua Williamson. It's a different artist though, so you've got a completely different artist on this one. Victor, I don't know how you'd say his name. Olazaba. But yeah, like Charlie said, DC books come out on the 30th of November, not on the 1st of December. So yeah, make sure you head down to your LCS to pick these up.
And it's Joshua Williamson who's taken over Batman, is that right?
It is, mate.
Taken over from James Tynion. Yep.
And it is cool coming from the fact that his Detective Comics run and his Robin's run are 2 of the most popular DC books.
Cool.
It is honestly Robin. I read Robin number 8 yesterday, and it's
so good.
Honestly, it's great. It's so good. It's honestly so good. The way it ended, really, really enjoyed it. And then obviously we've got this little QR code. If you scan it, it will take you over to Instagram or notquitemint.com, where you can pick up some fantastic slabs and some Christmas bargains.
Absolutely,
but on that note, I think this for me is, I think we've all stammered and stuttered with our words tonight, but not as good as this guy.
This is Andy's fault from Perpetual Comics. Pep.
So, right, I work for a company, yeah. My day job, I design awards and trophies. We do stuff like Formula E, Formula One, MotoGP, quite big things, yeah. So we have to tend to do perpetual awards. So like people want thousands and thousands of names on it or hundreds of names. Every time I get a design brief that says to me, I need can you do me a perpetual award? In my head, I'm going It's Andy's fault. Perpetual. So good.
I just love that because he says it right once and then doubts himself and then says it again.
But what a smashing guy! Like I know you guys
100%.
spoke about him last week. I obviously wasn't here to talk about him, but what a absolutely smashing gentleman of a bloke.
Honestly, 100%. And I think the next time the Killer Comics crew meet up is going to be in Newcastle because I can't wait until next year.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I can wait until next year, but I can't wait until Thought Bubble next year. So I think we need to have a Comic-Con in Newcastle at some point. Don't you agree?
Comic-Con. We'd probably just have a Comic-Con in his house.
Well, he lives next to... He apparently lives next door to Al Ewing, who is cupboards are full of Aldi owned beans. So we could all pop round to Al Ewing's. But anyway, Andy, this is your Killer Indies for December 1st. Take it away.
This is my Killer Indies for December 1st. And before I kick off, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's watching. We're an hour and 45 minutes in. Please make sure that you hit that thumbs up as you do, or hit the dislike if you really wish to, but please make sure that you're subscribed to us because we're on the road to 700 subs, and it would be awesome if we hit that little milestone. That would be really cool.
And there is a beautiful little giveaway going on 700 subs. Once we get there, you will get yourself or possibly a chance to win a James Tynion signed The Nice House Out on the Lake, not quite mint exclusive.
John Gian cover.
Nice. But enough of that good stuff. We have Dark Blood issue number 5. This is my first Killer Indie. Guys, I cannot wait. This is oh, come on now.
Worst series I've ever been involved in.
We don't enjoy any of the books that come out. No, all kidding aside, guys, we bigged this book up. Latoya, good friend of the show, has been on, and we're hoping to have her on again. And what can I say about this book that we haven't already said? I think we've reviewed every single issue, and again, it's been one of the most consistent books that we've been reading. The artwork's been fantastic. The covers have been absolutely killer as well. So no doubt one of us will pick this as our pick of the week for next week or the week after.
100%. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago and she said we're her guilty Thursday pleasure, which is always nice to hear.
Which is lovely to hear. I don't think I've anybody's guilty pleasure, to be honest, but that's enough about me. Anyway,
I think we can agree issue number 4 was a bit slow. So hopefully issue number 5 picks up. But you're going to.
Are we allowed to say that? Is like Latoya will not be our friend anymore if we say it was a little bit slow?
Is Latoya in the chat?
We give honest
reviews. She's anymore. She's like,
should appreciate that. Should appreciate that. There we go. Oh, look, another one.
This is probably the one that I'm looking most forward to. So I stopped Silver Coin issue number 5 on my pull list, and then I realised that Ram V was going to be doing an issue, and I quickly put it back on again. Needless to say, this is probably the issue that I'm most excited about, just to see what the master of horror can do with a book like The Silver Coin. And also I'm intrigued to see what Michael Walsh does with the story that Ram V does. So issue number 7, I don't know how many issues this is going to go to. It was only meant to be 5, and then they obviously kept it going because it was so successful. But I'm interested to see what the next journey is for this mysterious coin.
It has been interesting. Like, again, this was one of the ones that you picked up and you was like, oh yeah, you got to read 6 issues. I was like, okay, great. I enjoyed it because even though it's about Silver Coin, every single issue is different. It's like Tales from the Crypt. Every single issue is different, but it kind of ties together.
All very much standalone. And if you're looking for the backstory to the coin, then just pick up issue number 5 because that really gets you going and will make you read all those previous issues.
Yeah, cool.
So this is Animal Castle. This is from Ablaze. Xavier Doris
is writing.
That was one of the things that drew me in for this. Like, look at it; it looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to read the synopsis for this, and it's a little bit long, so bear with me. But
I feel like that was us at Thought Bubble with Charlie being the bullet. at the back.
That was the person serving us all the alcohol.
Just lording over us. Yeah, and that.
Yeah. So this says, on the farm, all animals were equal. In the castle, some are more equal than others. For fans of the best-selling Stray Dogs and the Eisner Award-winning Beasts of Burden comes an animal fable at once familiar and surprising. You may think you know the story, but set aside your assumptions. This animal uprising is unlike any you have read. I just think it sounds so intriguing, and the fact that it sort of calls out Stray Dogs, I think this might be one to pick up.
It does look interesting. Like, that cover does look good, though. I've got to say that.
I think so.
A Blaze are quite good, you know. Like a Blaze, they did a comic called
I've got a couple of
Boys.
Blazers.
I think it was Boys. It was good. It kind of tied.
I got your fireman joke, Tom. I got it. I can't believe you missed that, Charlie. Come on.
I did. No,
I've been to a couple of Blazers.
I was just trying to set the chat alight with my review of Boys, but it didn't work. Okay,
I see what you did.
Talking about a Blaze, there we go.
Yeah. So we've got Hotel
I've been to these.
issue number 1, and this is volume 2. So this is by John Lees and the art by Lee Luftbridge. And this is another, I believe it's another 5-issue arc following on from the first volume, which I've only read a couple issues from volume 1, but I really enjoyed it, and I've heard really good things about this story. This is AWA Upshot as well, which is another fantastic publisher. I know that Tim's a big fan of these guys, and this looks to be a really good one. We almost had potentially the opportunity to do a cover for this, boys. This was the book that we almost. That's a bit of a surprise for everybody in the chat, but yeah, the Killer Comic Show was potentially going to be doing a cover for this book, but next year, as you say, Tom. But yeah, this is issue 1, so go and check it out.
There's a film, isn't there a film called Hotel where they miss off the L as well? There is a film called Hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got any significance to it, but
I'm sure there's a film where I think you're the same. I think I'm thinking about the same film, Charlie. So the film I'm thinking of is a hotel that's got a line drawn down the middle of it, and it's like one side you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you like. The other side is you've got to, abide by the rules. It's got like I think it's got Chris Evans is in it, or no, actually no, Chris Hemsworth is in it, and Jeff Bridges are in it. I think. Yeah. I think that's the same film. Or it might have been one I imagined in my head. That happens a lot.
The logo of the comic looks the same. So, but yeah. Oh, lovely.
This is King of Spies, issue number 1. This is a new again. This is not AWA Upshot. This is Image Comics. My bad. So this is written by Mark Miller or Mark Millar, as our friends across the pond would call him, and Matteo Scalera is doing the artwork. So this is like a secret agent sort of story. So the world's greatest secret agent has 6 months to live. Does he die quietly in a hospital bed, or does he make up for a lifetime of bad decisions? He's been propping up an unfair system for over 40 years. Now he knows where all the bodies are buried and has nothing to lose when he turns his guns on everyone who ever made a buck creating the mess we're in right now. And I think this might be one that has a chance of being optioned. I think Mark Miller, anything he touches seems to be up on Netflix. So I think this is a really good book to pick up.
Okay. Well, this is tied to his Netflix deal.
There we go.
This book was a Diamond Gem of the Month, and it was one of the top 5 gems of the month for December. So that says a lot.
I picked well.
There we go. I think you're on a roll here, mate.
I am indeed. Odin's
Eye
issue. Well, this is one of the bad idea books, which seems to be waiting. I've got this on my pull list with Forbidden Planet. It's the only place I can get it, and I believe this is a 5-issue run, and they're actually going to be releasing this every week in December. So by the end of December, you'll have all the issues. It's another expensive book. I think it's retailing for about maybe $10. This book. So it's a big investment. You're going to be $50 into this, but I've seen some of the artwork, the interiors, and it is just as good as the cover work. It looks. I must say that for all the bad idea books, the quality of the book, not only the paper but the actual interiors and the artwork, it must take these guys like months and months and months to put these books together. But this is Joshua Dysart in writing and Thomas Giarello on art. And yeah, I think it does what it says on the cover. Looks cool.
It does look nice, doesn't
Andy, am I right in saying that the story of this is basically it's along the Norse mythology of why Odin gave up his eye to be able to see all and have all knowing knowledge? Is that right?
Yeah, it's a character called Solvig. She's like a young farm girl, and she's haunted by the visions of Odin's eye. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a bad idea to pick this one up, would it?
Nah. It's also, like I said before, when Andy started talking, this was one of the top 5 gems of the month for December from Diamond.
And again, that's an indie comic. It's got the diamond from it.
Yeah, I think this particular month in December, there isn't one Marvel or DC in their top 5.
Oh, is that right? That tells you everything you need to know. 100%.
Andy, you've picked a fucking gem here, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, I could have left the best.
We'll be reading this, won't we?
What's that? Say again?
We'll be reading this, won't we?
Oh, we should be. The blooming should be. I don't know why we've missed the other issues, but I guess it's that Comixology thing. It's gone through that process of downloading it and all that good stuff. But I know that I've pre-ordered the trade paperback with yourself, Tom, and I would highly recommend everybody else doing the same, because I think if Tom, you get like 5 or more orders, then you get like a book plate with it as well.
You do. So I ordered 6 in total. So anyone that buys one from me will get a book plate. And there are only 2 left.
There we go. So definitely go and check that out at notquitmint.com. But yeah, this is Snow Angels season 2, issue number 6. So this starts the final arc, which is 6 issues long. And it's written by Jeff Lemire, and the artwork is by the one, the only Jock, friend of the show, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this I've been really enjoying this book. The first 5 issues, I would highly recommend that you jump into this, if only for the artwork. But this is like a rock star team, these 2 guys doing this, and yeah, I can't wait to pick up the trade paperback for this, because it's just going to be nice to have it in hand.
Make that one, Tom. And Sean's going to take one off here.
Yeah, I've just messaged back. It's basically, so far I've sold 4. 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for Andy, and 1 for Panels and a Half Pint.
And Neo, can you answer this? Are they splitting the trade paperbacks into 2 volumes along with the 2 arcs, or is it 10 issues going to be in the trade paperback?
No, it's across the 2.
Yeah, it's across the 2. So I would imagine there'll be 2.
1 to 5, 6 to 10.
And then I would love if they just brought all 10 issues in some sort of hardback Omni. I think that would be awesome.
That would be great. Andy, Tom, you've absolutely killed it this week with the keys. And then obviously you've got the little QR code that takes you to some sexiness over at perpetual.comics. If you don't type in perpetual.comics, you'll get taken to perpetual.shioma. And she's giving. She's very giving. Always just check her out. We're going to get her on the show. But yeah, so this week we've got the killer trade for November 30th. So me and Andy and Tom had a discussion. Are we going to do it this week, next week, this week, or the week after? We're going to do it in the weeks coming. So just so you're knowing, these are the weeks and the trades and the hardbacks coming out. So up first, we have the Transformers Back to the Future. This is obviously by IDW Publishing. This is 96 pages at a decent price of $17.99, which is probably about £13. It's by Cavan Scott and Juan Samu, available in shops on December the 1st, 2021. And obviously this is the amalgamation of Back to the Future and Transformers, 2 80s TV shows coming into one to create Transformers Back to the Future. I read the first 2 issues. I kind of switched off. Tom, you're a massive Transformers fan. Did you get into this?
I read it. Very, very good. It's very fun. I wouldn't say it's going to win any awards. I wouldn't say that it's groundbreaking, but it is different. It is new, and it is very, very enjoyable as a kind of a bedtime page turner, I'd call it.
Okay, that's
which is also your nickname, Tom.
It is. That's what Charlie was calling me at Thought Bubble.
I've shared a room with him, and I can say he's definitely a page turner. Up next from Titan Comics, we have Star Wars: The Clone Wars Collector's Edition, hardcover, all 7 seasons, 238 pages. This is a big boy. So this is obviously the Clone Wars that was on, was it Netflix? Is it Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Netflix? Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus now.
On Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, this is possible.
All 7 seasons, 238 issues. It's still at a good price of $24.99. So what's that, 20 quid?
Is it going to have a better cover than that, though? I feel...
No, I think this is the cover.
Lets it down a little bit for me.
So obviously this is multiple writers, multiple artists. If you've been watching the show, you know what to expect. It's basically an in-depth edition covering all 7 seasons of the fan favourite award-winning animated programme. So all you Star Wars fans out there, Darth Maul in the front, what more could you want? Hopefully it comes with a better cover. Who knows?
I'll tell you what.
$25 for all those for such a big book. That seems
$24.99.
Nice.
Does,
do you know why I think it's probably cheaper than that you think it is? It's because it's still shots from the actual show, which would annoy me. If you guys haven't seen the show, the Bad Batch are one of the best created characters they've done for a long time. I love them. I think they're great.
Yeah, that's superb.
I need to get
worth watching the Bad Batch.
So this is obviously Titan Comics. Then we have, I'm not a fan of Green Lantern, but obviously this is Green Lantern Season 2, Volume 1. Collects Green Lantern, Black Stars, Issues 1 to 3, and the Green Lantern Season 2, Issues 1 to 6. 248 pages at $19.99. Written by Grant Morrison, art by Liam Sharp, and this is available next Wednesday in your LCSs. Any more information on Green Lantern? I'm not really a fan of him at all.
So I absolutely loved Green Lantern during the Brightest Day, Blackest Night, kind of just before they did the New 52 run.
I'm not sure what Andy's what Phil's referring to here. I'm assuming he's ordered the Snow Angels.
Yeah, and he wants 8, including nudes.
Well, I only got 5, so where's the other 3 coming from? Clone Wars is my favourite Star Wars story, so I want that. I grew up watching Clone Wars and was so upset when the finale came. The Bad Batch is outstanding, and then you were talking about Green Lantern because you're the only Green Lantern fan in the world.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so like during the Blackest Night, Darkest Day theme, it was amazing. Then they did the New 52, and it all kind of went to crap, and it's not managed to get going ever since. I picked up this Grant Morrison run thinking it was going to be really good, and not that I have any problem with Liam Sharp and his art, but the artwork is awful in the first issue. It's so detailed, it completely ruins the story, and the story's not that great. No offense to Grant Morrison, he's a great writer, but the story isn't that good. I won't be picking it up, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
The only thing I know about the Green Lantern is that he has a shiny ring and he knows how to use it.
So Tom did the thought bubble as well. Anyway, moving on. We've got Truth and Justice collects issues 1 to 7, 232 pages, $16.99. Writers, artists, and cover artists are various. I haven't read this.
What's happening with Superman's face?
I don't really know.
He's had a stroke.
Jeez.
I mean, he doesn't like. To be honest, I read half of issue 1.
Donald Trump.
I read half of issue 1 and kind of just got bored with it. But there are fans out there for Truth and Justice, and this is why we do the trades and hardcovers. So this comes out next Wednesday, and it says the ideals of Truth and Justice, concepts synonymous with DC superheroes from the golden age of comics in the present day, and the foundation of this collection for stories of the anthology series Truth and Justice. Trade paperback, pick it up if you will.
Hard pass.
A plurifola.
Wow, we need to clip that, Tom. That's for next week's show. Oh my goodness.
I'm still trying to say it. But anyway, this is what that's about. Up next, we've got Superman the Authority. The hardcover collects issues 1 to 4, 136 pages, $24.99. Again, this is written by Grant Morrison and art by the fantastic Jordi Belair. This was interesting. Issues 1 to 4 was pretty decent. I think I read them sparingly. I wouldn't say I engaged with it, but it was plethora. There we go. That's the one.
There's a lot of Grant Morrison.
Cheers, Anand. It is a lot of Grant Morrison, especially for DC.
And too much Superman, to be honest. It's just overwhelming.
Yep. Boys, have you got any thoughts on this?
Absolutely not. No.
I have no thoughts on this series whatsoever that is suitable for this channel.
Okay, well, moving swiftly on. That's the hardcovers for this week. Next week, whatever week we're in, week 48. It's going to be interesting. So yeah, we kind of cover it, and I think as like Connie goes, and I think like Comics Versus World, they're into their trade paperbacks as well. So hopefully we've highlighted some stuff from Grant Morrison that you can kind of pick up and add to your shelf. So we're coming to the end now, and we've obviously got the Killer Comics sneak peek. So up next, this is the comics that we will be reviewing next week. So first up, we have The Good Boy. Now, I've included 2 snapshots of the comic. This is my pick. No, whose pick is this? This is my pick. It is my pick, isn't it?
I threw a tantrum because you picked the whole thing.
Yes, this is my pick for next week, and I'm really looking forward to this. Andy obviously had, I think it's the winning cover for this week, Andy. Oh, no, sorry, just checked it. It's not. I'm looking forward to reading this next week. So this is obviously by Source Point Press, issue number 1 of Good Boy. We have the Hulk number 1 from Tom.
You're welcome.
This is well worth a read. I've got to say that. Well worth a read. So we've got the preview pages there, and then we've got Made in Korea issue number 6. There's no previews out. It's all kept tightly under wraps because this is the last issue of the fantastic Made in Korea issue number 6. So
can I make a suggestion? I don't know if I made a suggestion before, but maybe at some point, instead of doing a Killer Comics show, we do a Killer Korea show, and we have Jeremy Holt on, and we discuss the entirety of the Made in Killer.
I think we are going to do that. I think we spoke about getting Jeremy Holt on and George, and we was going to do a live read along where we was all going to do the 6 issues, and each one of us was going to do a different issue. Jeremy was up to that, and Jeremy was also up for the fact that when the trade paperback comes out, he will sign it, he will send it to us, and it will be entered into a giveaway for who's in the chat that week when we decide to do it. Connie has just messaged you. Tom, can I shoot you a message on Instagram about the House of Slaughter variant you mentioned, or is it on the Not Quite Mint website?
It doesn't matter. Either or. I receive both. So, yeah, either or. It doesn't mean whatever you're more comfortable talking to me on.
Now, we are coming to the end of the show, Tom, and I know Andy's very hungry, and I don't want a hangry Andy.
One hangry man.
On a Friday, but what we're going to do, I've just decided, like, it's my birthday, and you know how sparingly we do this. So we've got a Killer Comics t-shirt. Right. We're going to do a giveaway. Right. So for the last 20 minutes, I've taken the names of the people that we had in the chat. So how do I share the screen? There we go. Right. Share screen. Let's go to window. Hold on. Let me come out of this. There we go. Window. We will go in. Why is it doing that? Chrome tab. There we go. Right. There we go. Right, so we've got the Hobgoblin, we've got Connie Dalton, we've got Panels in a Half Pint, Leon Russell, the Poptimus, Mark Oldroyd, Comic Deal, Triple G, and Phil's Nerdiverse. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to shuffle in 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to spin it, and the winner will get a Killer Comics show, because that's just how we do it in Pulse, like this. So let's just do it.
That's just how we roll.
Let's just see how we roll. So who's going to win? And there we go. Look. Oh, it's Mark. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, sir. So Mark, you have won a Killer Comics t-shirt. So if you can drop me a message, or any one of us a message on Instagram, and I will get this out to you before the weekend, and you can enjoy that. But guys, that's just how we kind of roll on this show. It's been an epic long 2 hours and 10 minutes. Fantastic. Guys, thank you for letting me spend my birthday evening with you guys. Absolutely love you. Love every single one of you in the chat. Love my Thursday nights, and it wouldn't be the same if it weren't for you guys. So send in much Cockney love.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you.
And On that, I don't know what note you were singing that in, but on that note, guys, it's been fantastic. Sending much love to you two. Sending love to every single one in the chat. Have a fantastic weekend. And remember, if you miss it, you miss out. And Tom, what do we also say?
Stay safe, stay sexy.
But before we log off, I've got to make an effort of it. Right, so who wins the cover of the week? I'm not forgetting it this week because in third place, we're actually in joint second place, we have Catwoman 37 and Good Boy issue number 1 with 14%. And running away with it this week for the first time and probably the last time, it is Wonder Woman Black and Gold issue number 6 with a staggering 73% of the vote.
You're welcome to your sympathy win, Charlie. You're welcome.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it.
If only we have got 4 each, and you've just won 1. Surely we win because we've won 4.
I'll take it. I will take it. But honestly, massive shout out to Connie. Thank you very much, darling. Pendleton half point. Thank you very much. Tim, thank you very much. James, thank you. Leon, thank you. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Phil, Comics versus the World, The Poptimist, Leon Russell, everyone. Thank you so much for spending Thursday night with us. We enjoy doing it, and we shall see you again next week. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.